Coming up on Agweek TV, EPA is banning an insecticide important to the region. We'll find out what that means for farmers. The Agweek corn and soybean tour kicks off in Minnesota. Iowa farmland and rental values jump higher following grain prices. And we meet the North Dakota farmer who invented the world's only grain bin and silo mover. Welcome to Agweek TV. I'm Michelle Rook. The Environmental Protection Agency has dealt farmers in the region a tough blow with the announcement it's banning the insecticide Chlorpyrifos in food and feed uses due to safety concerns. The insecticide, an organophosphate, is better known as Lor's-band. It targets biting and sucking pests such as spider mites and aphids and is used in crops like corn, wheat, and soybeans. Farmers will now have to rely on other insecticide classes for control, such as neonicotinoids and pyrethroids.
We will be able to move to different insecticide classes, so it won't be as if we don't have anything to use anymore. However, with some of our pests, we are starting to see some resistances to some of those other insecticide products.
Farmers are also concerned about the higher cost of those options and less effective control, thus more potential yield loss.
We've seen in some research, especially spider mite damage, could result in either 40 to 60% loss on those affected acres.
The ban becomes effective 6 months after it's published in the Federal Register. Remaining supplies can be used until that deadline. The ban does not affect non-food uses such as mosquito control, which will be under review later in 2022. Newswire reports also say EPA is expected to recommend lowering the 2021 biofuels blending mandates below 2020 levels to align with COVID-reduced production. No official announcement has been made yet, but it would be another blow to the industry. However, the report also indicates EPA could make a separate recommendation to boost the levels for 2022 above the previous 2 years. Marathon Petroleum Corporation and ADM have announced an agreement to form a joint venture to own and operate ADM's previously announced soybean processing facility in Spiritwood, North Dakota. ADM would own 75%, MPC the balance. The facility is to be completed in 2023 and would process 150,000 bushels of soybeans a day into around 600 million pounds of refined soybean oil annually. That's the feedstock for 75 million gallons of renewable energy. That production would go to MPC. Land values and cash rental rates are on the rise and hitting record levels in some Corn Belt states. Former Iowa State economist Mike Duffy says Iowa is following that trend with values up 8 to 10%. While he thinks the market is close to a top, there have been a combination of factors driving land prices that are still in place.
Crop prices, low interest rate, government payments were good, so income was up.
Farm management specialist Dennis Raymond expects cash rental rates will also be renegotiated higher for next season following farm income trends.
If we finish off well and the grain market holds up, we'll see considerable raises in rent, not just $5 or $10 an acre, but more than that.
Many rental agreements expire on September 1st. Corn and soybean yields will vary widely this season depending on moisture, and some areas receive some badly needed rain this week. Michael Pates kicks off the Agweek corn and soybean tour with a check in central Minnesota.
Michael Pates here in the Willmar, Minnesota area for the 2021 Agweek crop tour for corn and soybeans. And we have Jason Fusey here with Central of Marshall, Minnesota, who has a territory up here. Can you explain the size of your area?
Yes, sure. So I more or less cover Candioi County, which Willmar is centrally located in Candioi County, but into Chippewa and Swift and Renville County a little bit, kind of a range of about 60 miles across by 60 miles north and south.
And so as you look at this crop, I mean, it's been very variable as I look at it coming along. What does it range from to out there, do you think?
You know, going around the countryside right now, where there's good areas of the county that have heavier dirt, have caught a couple extra rains, but other areas, especially north of Willmar, that are drier, we're going to see a range of field averages of corn from 100 100 bushel, probably up to 230 bushel, while the soybeans could be more in that numbers of 30 up to about 60.
What accounts for that variability usually? Is it just who caught the rain, or is it soil, or what do you think?
It is a combination. North of Wilmer, it's a lot lighter, rollier soil, whereas south of town it is heavier soils. But the southern part the southwest part especially caught several inch to 2 inch rainfalls. That the northern part got 2/10, 3/10, and those make a huge difference, it seems like, especially when you talk about the lay of the soil up there and the water holding capacity.
Ahead on Agweek TV, it takes a mighty mover to move these big farm buildings.
Thank you to our 2021 sponsors: Calcine, Aquayield, Corteva Agriscience, K&T Irrigation, and Ag Country Farm Credit Services.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you. From top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Saline can leave a field unproductive, so agronomist Greg Johnson was excited when he found out about a product called Calcine.
Well, basically, calcine, they spray it over the top. There needs to be calcium carbonate in the soil to start a reaction. That reaction, in a nutshell, is basically able to dislodge the sodium ion from the soil particle and allow the calcium to take its place on the soil particle, and then we're able to flush the sodium out of the soil profile and down. And at some point we will start seeing things like this, where this was black and now we've got corn growing, and that's an awesome story.
Farmer Neil Johnson couldn't agree more.
It is worth the investment. I mean, we've got growth, we've got things that are happening, because if we didn't do anything, we'd have nothing, and we'd be losing more, and it'd probably be leaching out further. Between the drain tile and calcine, you see now that we have vegetation.
Contact Jim Erickson or visit calcine.us.
Superior Grain Equipment offers you the industry's best dryer and grain handling equipment. So make the superior choice and get higher quality grains, test weights, and prices while using half the energy. Superior Grain Equipment.
We're going to talk today about a revolutionary auto steer product that you guys have developed.
We back one of these things in, it'll drain a 40-acre patch just within hours.
What can you tell us about what dairy farmers do to make sure that their animals are happy?
Their care is our primary concern.
Is there still time for producers to get storage bins up?
Absolutely. We still can definitely get something up and ready for corn harvest.
An eastern North Dakota farmer had a very big idea about 40 years ago to build a 30-ton silo mover. Walter Grody is still moving silos and grain bins, and his invention is still the only one of its kind in the world. Mikkel Pates has more in this week's Agweek cover story.
Walter Grody loves a challenge. He started out in the 1960s moving haystacks. Then he built a machine to move Commodity Credit Corporation grain bins among farms. Things picked up in the 1980s when he built a machine big enough to move the iconic blue Harvestor silos for broke livestock farmers.
So I called A.O. Smith, the president of A.O. Smith, and said, "Does anybody move them in one piece?" And he says, "No way, don't even try it."
Grody took that as a challenge and built his silo mover that they dubbed the Mighty Mover.
I knew what I wanted, how to make it, because I wanted it strong, and I wanted it low, and I wanted it so it would steer the back wheels. The back wheels on this will steer around the corner.
In fact, the money from moving the silos helped his own farm survive the 80s farm crisis. Nowadays, they're shifted almost entirely to hopper bins.
There is really no end in sight for this. People still keep calling.
Walter is 81 and keeps going. His grandson Max, 23, is joining him in the business, and he's already thinking of ways to improve the process.
I am kind of thinking about how we're going to be able to move these 40, 50, 60,000 bushel flat bottom bins when the time comes, when the farms get sold that they were built on. And my idea is actually an airbag that you put in the center of it to keep it in round.
The Grodys just keep getting bigger ideas about bigger moves. in Findlay, North Dakota. This is Mikkel Pates for Agweek.
You can read more in the next Agweek magazine or at agweek.com. North Dakota's rural communities offer lots of opportunities, and they're attracting more people who now call North Dakota home. We're partnering with a nonprofit, Strengthen ND, for this sponsored content series. Rose Dunn talks to a family returning to their rural roots to help strengthen North Dakota.
I grew up on a farm in Grandin, North Dakota, so only a few miles from where we live now.
Life has kind of come full circle for Ross and Amber Lockhart. They grew up in North Dakota, met at college in Moorhead, then went to graduate school in the UK. After that, they moved to Sacramento, California to start their careers. But they had a growing desire to move back to North Dakota with their young daughter, Stella.
It was nice. We loved living out there. Something was missing.
But one good thing that came out of their time in California was a growing awareness of locally grown food. They yearned for a closer connection to their food and the land.
It kind of got going in the back of our minds that, maybe we could, start farming or start growing our own food. And then there's that sort of longing feeling we had, or I had especially, for North Dakota to be back close to the land.
To have a little bit of space there. The city was wonderful in many ways, but it was crowded.
It took a few years of planning, but today Heart and Soil Farm is 13 acres where they grow chemical-free produce that they sell at farmers markets and to restaurants. Amber considers herself the full-time farmer, while Ross has a full-time job in Fargo. They both say after some initial skepticism from friends and family, they feel well supported in their venture.
We took a lot of time to learn about what it was we might be doing, and to plan before we made the jump. But the plan was always to come back and get a small piece of land and give it a go.
I definitely learned a lot from them, whether they know it or not.
Jen Skoog runs Family Roots Farm on 15 acres near Christine, North Dakota. She says the Lockharts have been great mentors as she started selling her produce. She says people like the Lockharts help strengthen North Dakota.
North Dakota has a lot to offer. We've got wonderful, wide open, beautiful spaces. And to be able to utilize that, I think bringing more people in, welcoming people in, that diversity, the different ideas, the backgrounds, I think is going to do nothing but help our state and really allow us to grow in all aspects.
The Lockharts are happy with their return to North Dakota, where they feel grounded on their farm. Near Gardner, this is Rose Dunn for Agweek.
To learn how Strengthen ND helps build big opportunities in small communities, visit strengthennd.com. Coming up on Agweek TV, how Nano liquid technology can improve your crops and save you money.
You've worked your entire life for this. Through the ups and downs, you've stood strong, building a legacy to be proud of. With all good things in this world, there are still risks. It's a part of life. You need protection you can count on. We're not just here to insure your equipment, your vehicles, or your home. We're here to protect everything you've built. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
Hi, neighbor! I know you didn't ask me to, but I grabbed your mail for you while you were out of town. This one was marked urgent, so I opened it for you. It's your bank statement. Are all those charges right? I highlighted the bottom of page 3 where you can sign up for e-statements.
This isn't my mail.
E-statements with Cornerstone Bank. Keep nosy neighbors at bay by switching today.
At North Star Ag, we're more than your short-line machinery dealer. We're also full service, and we're farmers first. That means we know it's not about what's best, but what's best for your farm. Whether you're planting, growing, or harvesting, we're there for all your equipment, parts, and service needs. And we've been doing it since 2009, with the largest inventory and availability in the area. Check us out at northstar-ag.com or call us at 701-361-4790.
Go beyond the headlines with an Agweek membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to Agweek and AgweekTV.
The weather pattern is finally shifting to bring some cooler temps and some showers. Who's getting the moisture? Here's John with our Agri-weather outlook.
Summer weather has certainly lost its edge, and the dry weather has apparently lost its edge here at the very end of the summer season. There's hot weather in the country. Not as much, it's not as large in scale and scope, and it certainly has dropped out of the northern plains for the most part. And here in the northern plains, rain chances over the next couple of weeks, as with the last week or so, are beginning to look a little bit more regular. I'm seeing radars much more active than they were during most of July and August, and that makes a huge difference. Also, the tropical areas of the eastern sections of North America, especially those areas that are prone to tropical storms and hurricanes, need to be on alert as the tropics have become quite active again. Hot weather dominating the deep south and the lower part of the Midwest, but much milder weather this weekend, dropping into the northern plains. And keep your eye on that cool stuff up north. A little trough of low pressure in the jet stream will drag some of that cooler weather down. It's not going to invade much of the United States, but watch for this, sometime around the latter part of the week to bring some pretty cool weather into parts of western Canada. Keep an eye on this part of the pattern because that's going to get repeated again in September. Meanwhile, we'll still have some 90-degree weather and maybe some days even hotter than that from Nebraska down into Texas. Most of the Middle West certainly will be warm, but there will be a lot of 70s and to around 80 degrees over the northern plains and northern Great Lakes. This cool weather by the end of the week will likely quickly retreat. A little bit of a warm up along the west coast, but no 120s. Just going to be warm out there. The really hot stuff will stay from Florida to Kansas to Texas and then in the Mojave Desert. That's about the only place it will stay hot. I said keep an eye on this cool area. We'll look toward the end of the period, which will be approaching Labor Day. It looks like some pretty chilly weather coming into western Canada. Again, I don't anticipate that invading much of the U.S. In fact, the general temperature pattern across central North America and the central United States in particular, as we get into the very end of August and the early part of September, overall looks near or slightly warmer than average. So we're not talking about a tremendous cool down. It just means here in the northern plains, we're going to knock the hot weather back. Now, with this transition into cooler weather, we are seeing occasional chances for showers and thunder showers. And the areas that I am dignifying here by no color at all also may get some rain. Just like the concentration will be in the green areas. There is expected to be a chance at a tropical system, possibly a hurricane, coming into the Gulf sometime later this week. So we'll have to keep an eye on potentially heavy rains there. The monsoon is bringing rainfall into parts of New Mexico and Arizona. West Coast looks dry. Second week leading up to Labor Day, there still will be a chance for showers and thunderstorms in the upper Midwest and parts of the northern plains.
At Trans Systems, every day is a great day to haul beets. Our family-owned business moves more beets than anyone in the world. We enjoy good work and good pay, and many of us have been here for decades because it's a place where our opinions are heard and our accomplishments are seen. We're your home every day and can take summers off. Here, our safety and yours matter most. Trans Systems, a sweet haul in the Red River Valley since 1983.
They say when the going gets tough, the tough get going. At OK Tire, we're here to keep you going. From Firestone tires and replacements to retreads and even Firestone tracks, we have you covered. Our certified Firestone experts are ready to get you back up and running, no matter if you're on site or in the field, saving you time and money. OK Tire, we keep the tough going.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
Don't miss out on the equipment you'll need next season. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer, has early order discounts on its full line of powerful, efficient, new Case IH equipment, including tractors, combines, and self-propelled sprayers. Get a great deal and ensure that you have the latest in productivity and technology. Supply chains are tight. Contact your Titan Machinery dealership today and find out how much you can save by ordering ahead. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH equipment experts.
For Agweek, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Agweek TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Every dollar counts on the farm, especially in this year's dry conditions. There's a new technology that uses nanoparticles for more efficient delivery of nutrients to your crops. Rose Dunn gives you a look at how nano liquid technology works.
With so many new exciting technologies being offered, it's easy for growers to feel overwhelmed. But Aquayield products are bringing in new solutions to the crazy world of crop inputs. Aquayield was first introduced to this region in 2018 by Erickson Custom Operations. They work closely with Tom Vanderheiden of ST Biologicals on trial and business development as new technologies emerge. Growers across the Midwest are achieving higher yields and a better crop while reducing input costs through nanoliquid technology. Jim Krebsbach is the Vice President of Sales for Aquayield. He loves to tell growers about the good return on investment from Aquayield.
We've done over 650 trials, and when we combine all the data that we get off these trials, it's a 3-to-1 return average across the board. So you can save on inputs, and you also will get and can see a yield increase. That's product that you guys pay for. You don't want to see that. Put it into our technology, and it helps hold it on. Keeps it in the soil profile longer. It's more available to your plant.
Aquayield is unique in that it can be deployed into micro and macronutrients and other crop protection products a grower is already using and protects them in the patented Nano Shield. Tiny nanoparticles penetrate root and leaf tissue, improving absorption into the plant. That means you can apply less nutrients and crop inputs.
Let's think of Nano as a delivery vehicle to help get more, whether it's crop protection or fertility, into your plants. No special handling, easy to use, 4 ounces per acre. So really low use rate. You can put it in furrow, you can foliar apply it. 1 2.5 gallon jug treats 80 acres, so really easy to implement into a program. And I mean, really all from between $3 to possibly $8 on a per acre cost to you to try it. So very inexpensive.
It didn't take long for ECO to build a network of dealers and growers that believe in this new technology. Cody Hotzenbuehler, owner of Pan Ag and dealer of Aquayield nanoliquids, promotes them as a key function to help with improving soil health and reducing the amount of salt being applied in furrow. Throughout the season, he promotes products like NanoPack to improve micronutrient balance for the prevention of deficiencies. Aquayield's nanoliquid technology can reduce plant diseases by making fungicides more effective. The company is also rolling out products for organic cropping systems. The use of nanoliquid technology truly allows you to use less and yield more. In eastern North Dakota, this is Rose Dunn for Agweek.
To learn more about how Aquayield works, contact Jim Erickson at ECO at the number or email on your screen. Still ahead on Agweek TV, farmers in southeast Minnesota learn how cover crops can improve their soil.
You've worked your entire life for this. Through the ups and downs, you've stood strong, building a legacy to be proud of. With all good things in this world, there are still risks. It's a part of life. You need protection you can count on. We're not just here to insure your equipment, your vehicles, or your home. We're here to protect everything you've built. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Challenges. We all face them at some time. But it seems that ag has seen its fair share over the past few years. Has your farming operation been able to stand the challenges? If not, maybe it's time to talk to the risk management specialist at Martinson Ag. We can help you make the sound decisions to help your operation weather the storm. Martinson Ag, your one-stop shop for crop insurance, livestock insurance, and marketing. We are here to take your operation to the next level.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
You can get the field results you want in varying conditions with the flexibility of the Summers VRT Renegade. Featuring on-the-fly blade angle adjustment from 0 to 19 degrees. And if you want the simplicity of a super coulter with the ability to move a little dirt, you'll love the all-new Summers Super Coulter Samurai. Go to summersmfg.com or visit your local dealer to learn more about North America's broadest line of tillage equipment and other products from North Dakota-based Summers Manufacturing.
For Agweek, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts a dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Agweek TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. More than 200 farmers from 5 states gathered at a southeast Minnesota farm recently for a soil health field day. As Noah Fish reports, they learned about the latest in cover cropping techniques.
The rye was about this tall on me, and we went in and planted direct into it.
Interest in soil health and cover crops is growing. If this year's Soil Health Field Day is any indication, the Winona County Soil and Water Conservation District puts on the annual event, and organizer Lance Klessig says it was the biggest one yet.
Cover crops do work. We want to use different tools to make them successful. So that's roller crimping, or that's using airplanes or drones. So being willing to think outside the box and innovating.
Dave Unruh and his son Mike grow about 800 acres of row crops and have a few head of cattle. Mike also runs Unruh cover cropping. He demonstrated how they've been roller crimping rye with soybeans coming up underneath.
I think there's a lot of people that are curious about it, or people that have just started doing it that want to learn more.
The Unruh say these events are important, not only to learn from the experts, but from other farmers as well.
I'm guilty of what's happened on the other side of the fence, and yeah, that looks like it's working over there. Maybe we should try it.
Yes, cover crops work. We just might need to be willing to innovate and, keep trying to hone it in and make it successful.
In Winona, Minnesota, this is Noah Fish for Agweek.
The event also drew representatives of different soil conservation districts, seed reps, and implement dealers. Thanks for watching this week's edition of Agweek TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have yourself a great and safe week.